Hey everybody. So in March of 2020 I decided that I would do a video on some trail riding. So here I am on a horse that I had just bought, young horse. She's 4 years old, and anyways, you wanted to do a video on doing some trail riding, kind of some tips and tricks, some advice. You can see right here, this is the first time I've taken this horse down here, and we had quite a bit of rain. Creek's running pretty good, and she really not quite sure about how to get down this spot. So what I'm doing right here is just trying to point her in the right direction, urge her forward. When she starts going forward, I release the pressure a little bit, give her some time to think about it. Look where she's putting down her feet. You can see she kind of is trying to turn her head and go back to the house, and had to just redirect her and give her a little encouragement to go down the little hill. It doesn't look like much, but it's about a 3 or 4 foot drop and then straight into water. Kind of a tough situation for her to navigate, but and also the ground is pretty soft, so every time she'd step down she'd sink down, and that would scare her a little bit. But finally gave her a little bit of time, and once she gets in the water, then she just goes right through and does a real good job. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I'll be narrating from time to time, and we'll talk to you soon.
And away we go. Looking at my shadow here, feel like a unicorn. Small emerging horn coming up off the top of my head. Okay. First thing is that when you're riding, especially your first couple times, whenever you start going down a hill, just make sure, if you've been trotting, slow down to a walk. Can be a little bit challenging to trot going downhill. Remember also, when you're going downhill, you want to lean back a little bit, sit back in your saddle. When you're going uphill, you can help your horse out by leaning forward, getting up closer, your weight up over their shoulders a little bit more. Also, be looking ahead, looking around your surroundings. I got down here and I could see that Jeep over there parked. Got some guys, they've been prospecting with the rain and whatnot, some water running, so they've been searching for lost treasures. Make sure you look out for things that you normally wouldn't see, your horse normally wouldn't see, or things that seem out of place to them, and be just prepared for them to spook or shy. Don't by any means stop, urge them to go forward, but just be aware that they can stop and spook at some things. I'm gonna trot up this little hill. You can see how rocky it is up here. This horse only has front shoes on, and which she'll be fine for today, but if I was going to be riding on her a lot, I'd want to have shoes on all 4 feet. It's going to help out with her traction, also keep her hind feet from getting sore. Another thing is that, like right there, I think you guys can see it, there's a lot of wire around here. Always be on the lookout for wire. That stuff is just hanging in the bushes. I know I'm close to a fence, and you never know what people do. Sometimes I think this was part of an old fence, and they left some of the wire. Oh, yep, there's a T-post right there. So always be on the lookout for wire. As we get up here closer, you can see that we're coming to this gate. You always want to be aware of people who are ranching, and making sure that if you see a sign, especially if you go in a lot of this land around here is state land or Forest Service, people are running cattle, and you want to make sure that if you go through a gate and it's closed, or you see a sign that says keep gate closed, you want to make sure that you follow those instructions, because if you don't, you leave the gate open, then cattle can get out, and then the ranchers start closing off their public lands because they can't run their cattle. Another good thing is that after you've ridden for a while, see, I just left the house. It's been about 5 or so minutes riding, and I'm gonna check my cinch. It was snug when I first got on. I can pull it out now, so I need to tighten that up. I just put the reins over my hand, and if she goes to walk off like this, I just reach and grab like that. Cinch her up. There. Check my back cinch. I know at the school we don't use a back cinch very often. I do, especially out here. You don't want, when you're going down a hill, you don't want your saddle to pop up in the back, so this helps keep it down. I also have a breast collar right here, and when I'm going up these hills, keeps my saddle from sliding back over her butt. Now that I'm off, also, you can see I've got a little pouch, and I've kind of rigged it so that it doesn't flop around. It's kind of connected to my back cinch and up to the D-ring. And got a saw in case I need to cut some branches that are in the trail. I also have some wire cutters in case I get someplace and there's wire on the ground. I need to cross through it. Old fence that's already down. By all means, don't cut a new fence, but if you see an old one that's already fallen down, you can get off and cut the wire, get it out of your way so you can cross. Also, when I go to get on, my horse is standing on the uphill side of me, and I'm really short, as you all know, so I'm gonna just move her around, get her standing so that I'm on the uphill side of her. There. Once I get my foot in the stirrup, she wants to walk around. Should have made her stop, but decided to get going. But once you get your foot in the stirrup, you can usually just go ahead and get on. So go up here, ride a little ways. You don't want to ride right next to the barbed wire fence. Cattle they'll make a trail right along the fence, and they can move back and forth, and the barbs kind of scratch their sides a little bit. But when you're riding, you don't want your foot to reach over there and get into the fence. You can rip your boots or rip your jeans. I usually ride with chaps on when I'm out here, but today I don't have my chaps on, so I don't want to get too close to that fence, get my jeans ripped. When I get over here, this is a really neat little place for me to ride. Usually I'll go straight up this canyon, and I can come out at a dirt tank straight up through there called Lone Pine Tank, and it's a really neat trail. But instead, you know what? I see some cattle over there, and I'm just gonna ride up that hill and see if my horse is used to them. I don't want to be chasing these cows or anything, but there's cattle out here. It's okay to ride by them. Keep your distance. Make sure that you don't get too close to them. And anyways, just kind of use your common sense here. I think I'm gonna head down this canyon over here to the side, go up over here, and come back down this draw on this trail. I think you guys will really enjoy it. It's a pretty cool little trail. Alright guys, here I am. You can kind of see up on the side of this hill, and what I'm gonna do is show you guys kind of some tips on navigating steep hillsides. Gonna go across this draw over here and up the other side, and give you some pointers on how to do this. So first thing is, you just don't want to go straight down the hill. I can come over here and I can look and see that it's pretty steep. Horses are gonna have a hard time going straight down something like this. So what you want to do is when you're up at this high point, kind of angle out and down. I know that I can see a bunch of rocks over here. It's really steep, especially over here on this side, and I want to kind of go up that way anyways. So I'm just going to go along this ridge down across over there where it's pretty flat, and then when I start climbing up, I'm going to do some switchbacks so my horse isn't going straight uphill. It's kind of going at an angle, turn, angle, angle. I also want to make sure that when I get about halfway up, if I can feel my horse is getting tired, stop and let them rest a little bit. And if they're getting really sweaty, then I'll dismount and I'll air her back out, because it can get really sweaty, really hot, especially if it's in the summertime. Not so much right now because it's about 40 degrees, but you know, if you are climbing up a big hill and you get up to the top, get off, uncinch a little bit, and just lift up the back of your saddle, and that'll help your horse out. So let's go ahead and get going and see how this goes. Alright, very nice. Made it over here exactly where we wanted to. There's a little bit of a trail we could follow. Now here comes the interesting part. So I can look how steep this side is. I can see there's a little bit of a trail. And I'm just gonna start zigzagging, working my way up here. This horse was raised in this type of an area, so she's pretty used to climbing up steep hills like this. She's really sure-footed, almost like a mule. So I'm not too nervous about her. If you do have a horse that hasn't really been in this type of an area, you want to make sure you kind of get them used to it gradually. Don't just take off and go into some really steep places like we have here, because they just don't know how to move and how to walk around. Other thing is, now I'm over here on this side, and I'm gonna let her rest a little bit. It's kind of a flat spot. I don't want to rest with her nose pointing up the hill or down the hill. I want to be going across it, give her a level place to rest, catch her breath a little bit, wait for a couple minutes. Usually the horses are pretty happy to stand still after climbing up something like that, but if they start walking and they want to keep going, well, I always say if they want to keep going and I have somewhere to go, then I'm going to let them go. I'm not going to hold them back unless I really have to. Pretty soon they'll learn that whenever you give them a chance to rest, they better rest, because they don't know when they're going to get to rest again. So her breathing slowed down. She's not huffing and puffing as hard, so I'm going to keep going on my merry little way.
So that does it for this episode. We're going to continue on our trail ride and show you some more things. Hope you guys enjoyed it.